sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Y'all hit that like button on your way in the building. Let your friends and family members know about the channel as well as we continue to grow. I just want to say thank you to everybody who supports us on a regular basis. Welcome to the show. I'm TD. Y'all already know what time it is, and today's video is powered by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. They offer 125% on your first 3 signups. If you haven't heard them and want to check them out, click the link in the description and go ahead and take advantage of the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I gotta talk about a few things with Miami Dolphins now or never. When you look at the BetUS odds, as you can see on the screen, for some reason our odds got a little worse. We were literally, I thought, was like 10 points behind the Buffalo Bills. They were at 170, we were at 180, and it looks like they took 5 points away and put us 15 points, and then the Jets are closing the gap as well at plus 200. I just can't wait to see what it ends up being after the draft, to see how things fare out at that point, what BetUS thinks about the odds then. If you think the Dolphins can win a division this year, make sure you go place your bets. If you're a Jets fan, think that you have it, go ahead to BetUS and take advantage of the plus 200. And even Buffalo, if you feel like you can keep the crown, plus 170. Patriots, y'all ain't got a chance, but if y'all crazy enough to think that you do, plus 2200, it'll definitely be worth it. Shout out to Scant Dollar with the donation. He said, TD, I know you don't block, but Tua non-legend gotta go. Offers nothing positive, just trolling and antagonizing in your comment section. All right, hey man, yeah, I don't typically block. But again, yeah, I'll check it out. But if it's his opinions and stuff like that, hey, it is what it is. I respect people's opinions. Now, if he's just being nasty or just, arguing to argue, just ridiculous stuff, then, that's a different story. So I'll keep an eye out on it, man. I keep an eye out on it. But I appreciate you letting me know. All right. Y'all hit that like button. All right. Listen, quick conversation real quick. Now or never. Let me sit back a little bit. We got the huddle at 3:00. Y'all make sure y'all come through to check that out on BetUS TV. A lot of people don't even know BetUS TV literally, I mean, has a fleet of YouTube channels covering pretty much every sport, lives, and I mean, every single day, Monday through Friday. All right. So make sure you check out BetUS TV. Me, Dan Mitchell, and Richie Miller, we have our own show on BetUS TV called The Huddle, Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. So about 2:50, I'll be headed over there in about 30 minutes. So y'all come check it out. Now or never. Miami Dolphins, now or never. I want to have this conversation real quick because it's the right conversation to have. I have a stream that I want to do tonight because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm sitting here debating. I don't even think I can get through it all in 30 minutes. So I'm going to have it tonight, but I'm going to give y'all the general gist. The way that the Dolphins are set up at this very immediate moment, it's now or never. Now, when I say never, it ain't never. You know, the next 5-6 years, I just don't see a path to a Super Bowl if we don't do it now. If we don't at least like go to the AFC Championship, I don't see a path. I do not see a path over the next 5 years. Why do I say that? A lot of people, they talk about the Dolphins. They talk football X's and O's. You know, some people talk X's and O's. Some people talking about the team. Some people very optimistic. Some people look at the money. A lot of people look at a lot of different things when it comes to the Miami Dolphins and the way the team constructed. And when I first started this channel, I loved the Dolphins. I am a diehard Dolphin fan. I just love the Dolphins. But as I continue to do this YouTube and social media thing, I have a newfound respect for the NFL, the game itself, and how intricate it is. Like, it's like, man, if you think this game is about X's and O's, you are greatly mistaken. If you think this game is about the money, you're greatly mistaken. There are so many factors that go into trying, not winning, but just trying to win, because winning is not a guarantee. There are so many different ways you can approach the game of football in today's NFL to have a competitive advantage, to have a chance to win a Super Bowl. What say you? Just so many different factors. A big factor is the quarterback, just the quarterback. You know, a huge factor is the strategy of your defense, the strategy of the offense, the strategy of how you manage your financials, the strategy of how you draft, the strategy of the coaching staff, the special teams. It's so vast. How you trade, the culture, location, so many factors that all tie into each other to where when you're trying to figure out how to build a team or what you think is best for the team, you can't just point at one factor. You can't point at just 2 factors, 3 factors, 4 factors. There's like 10 plus factors, and you have to literally like figure out 7 out of 10 just to even enter the immediate conversation. It may be 8 out of 10. So when you come to the realization, and I'm a numbers person, I love numbers, I love statistics, I love analytics, I love variables, I love multiple variables, I love the influence and indirect influence and direct influence of multiple variables. That's why I'm always talking about the attributables. I just love it because once you start to understand how variables affect each other, you get a better understanding of cause and effect. And when you understand cause and effect, You don't just address the effect, you address the cause so that you don't have to deal with the negative effects and you can hope for the positive effects. And I know I'm talking right now. Hopefully some people, and I'm not insulting anybody by saying some, but some people may not be following me right now. Some people hear what I've already said and be like, well, this dude's just rambling, it's gibberish. But some people clearly, like, they understand what I'm saying right now. So I say all of the things I just said to say this, okay, to sum it up for those that would like me to sum it up. When you realize how many factors have to go right for you to see the results you want to see, you realize it's almost impossible to figure it out. But you always learn to work smart, not hard. I could sit here and try to tie my brain with 10 different variables and be this mummy and be like, oh, in my brain, I'm figuring it out. But the way that you're supposed to work when there's too many variables, you work smart, not hard. So how do you work smart in this situation when you got 10 variables you got to consider, but you cannot be like our brain power cannot quantify all the variables together and look towards the future with these same 10 variables to project. That's why Chris Greer say we operate off of a 2-year window at a time. You know, we're looking ahead a year or two. In this game, you got to look ahead 3 to 4 years. That's why I was concerned when he said that, which could be a huge reason why. But I understand why you don't want to go past 2 years, because the variables get off the chart for anybody's mental to be able to handle. But that's why you work smart, not hard. So how do you work smart and not hard when you have multiple variables? You give every variable a weight. So if I got 10 variables and quarterback is like 30% in one variable alone, okay, the special teams might be 5%. You see what I'm saying? The coaching staff might be 15%. The way I operate my money might be 15%. You have to think smart, not hard. So you have to go after the heaviest weighted variables. And that's why I saw somebody in the comment section, wow, TD's finally getting it. It's not just the quarterback. It's never just been the quarterback, but the quarterback will always be, if you're being intelligent about it, it will always be one of the biggest forefronts of your variables, because it's one of the biggest weights in being successful and winning. It's one of the biggest weights. And the crazy thing about it is, you can have 9 out of 10 of the variables, but if you don't have that one, your chances are like slim to none. Not to say it ain't possible, but it's still slim to none. Where are you getting your biggest bang for your buck is where you should be attacking what you address on your team. And that's why I always have the quarterback conversation in my mouth. That's why. I'd be a fool to be just steady talking about everything and not the quarterback, when if we fixed everything else, the quarterback has showed us that that area can still screw us over. It can still screw us over. There are teams that don't have a great O-line that can still win a Super Bowl because that quarterback position is on the wraps. See, a lot of people don't talk about the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs lost their 2 star tackles, their left tackle and their right tackle last year. And they went into this season with, these guys are not good at tackle. Go look it up. They went into the season with 2 tackles that are not considered good tackles in the NFL. Not considered good tackles in the NFL. Still won a Super Bowl. But we want to say that's a priority to address that. See, factors. What's the big factors and what's the small factors? But when you don't have a great quarterback, then other factors that should be small, we got to start looking at those as big factors to make up. But isn't that doing double work when you could just fix the big factor? It's that simple. The Dolphins have to do it now or never. What I'm going to show you tonight in the stream that I'm going to do, I'm going to show you our salary cap, and I'm going to show you a multitude of players tonight in their contract situation. I'm going to show you Teron Armstead. I'm going to show you Jalen Ramsey. I'm going to show you Bradley Chubb. I'm going to show you Tyreek Hill. I'm going to show you Austin Jackson. You notice I'm naming all the big name players, right? Like the big money players. And almost every free agent that we brought in this year. I'm going to show you all of their contracts and what a lot of people don't realize on their contracts. And you can do your research before tonight's show. I'm going to show you that every single one of them, no one excluded, even Austin Jackson with his new contract, y'all, not a single one of them excluded. The Miami Dolphins have an out right after this season. We literally just signed Austin Jackson on an extension. They're out with no more guarantees is just after this year. They under contract longer, but are out from a financial standpoint where we can eat some dead cap and move on. Every single one of them, no one exempted. Not a single player on the whole roster is exempt. Every single one of them. 2025 is the out right before the season. Go look at it. Jalen Ramsey, potential out 2025 before the season. That's right after this year. Tyra, every single one of them. Austin Jackson, don't cry. His contract is nothing. After this year, no guaranteed money. They can cut him and say, okay. Every player on the roster, the Dolphins have an out after this season. Now, of course, Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, Teron Armstead already. Y'all need to go look at his contract. I don't know, man, Greer tripping, but it is what it is. Every single one of them, you can get out of it, but then you got dead cap. It ain't a lot of dead cap, but collectively with all of them, it's going to save you a lot of money, but it's also, you're going to be paying dead cap. Not crazy dead cap. That's why they can get out of it. Like a lot of players, instead of paying them $30 million next year, because remember, we restructured a lot of them. And in 2025, a lot of their salaries go from these little 11 million, 8 million, 13 millions to 30, 26, 33. Oh, like almost all of them just skyrocket because we've been restructuring, kicking the can down the road. And if we cut them, we'll save 20 million in the season, but we got 11 million dead cap. Hey, that's a 20 million. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? Everybody, every contract on this roster you can get out. And the gist of what I'm going to show y'all tonight is this. This is the last year of the window. And if we are successful this year, we'll commit the ultimate sin, which is kicking it down the road one more time, which even makes the future that much worse to try to go for a Super Bowl. This year is the window. And if we show at least like AFC Championship success, next year we'll try to make the attempt one more time. Only if we show that level of success. Only if we fail this year and don't win a division and have a first round exit, or we miss the playoffs, all of them gone. All of them out of here. Now, the biggest element that we're going to need to consider about all of this, here's where it's now or never, and why the organization frustrates me. Because although you can shed all those contracts, eat some dead cap for the next 2 years, although you can do that, here's the scary thing. We're going to operate off of the assumption that they pay Tua, pay Holland, pay Waddle, pay Phillips. We're going to operate off the assumption. We don't know if they will, but let's just operate off of the assumption they do. Here's what Dolphin fans need to realize. When we pay those 4 guys, all they're doing is somewhat replacing the contracts. Those 4 guys, all they're doing is replacing the contracts of Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Ramsey, and Teron Armstead. That's all they're doing, is replacing their contracts. Now, here's the messed up part about them replacing their contracts. The way the contracts are currently constructed, when we sign those 4 guys to their big deals, the young guys to their big deals, you usually take advantage of the first 2 years because you can manipulate the cap, give them low cap hits, right? Like next year and the year after, we could give one of them $25 million a year, but the first 2 years we could go $2 million cap hit, $6 million cap hit. We can manipulate it, and then it jumps up, right? The problem with those 4 guys, when we give them their money, the first 2 years where you want to manipulate the cap and give them a low cap hit number, the problem with the way our books are set up is that all those other 4 guys that we're going to move on from, they're going to have significant dead cap. That's going to make you feel like you still ain't got no room to really add a lot of pieces around it. They're still going to hit us with dead cap for those players, and we're not going to really truly be able to take advantage of those early years of these new contracts of Tua, Waddle, Phillips, and Holland, because we'll still be eating some of the dead cap from those other guys that are moved on now. Furthermore, on top of that, if those 4 guys are replacing those other 4 guys, let me give you those 4 guys again. Over here, you got Tua, Waddle, Holland, and Phillips replacing Armstead, Tyreek, Jalen Ramsey, and it was one more. Am I missing? Chubb. Chubb is the last one. You got these 4 replacing these 4. Here's the crazy thing about it. The 4 replacing the older 4, they not even collectively as good as these guys were. Some people will argue that. But Holland, Tua, Waddle, and Phillips are not collectively as good as Chubb, Tyreek, Armstead, and Ramsey. They're not. But it's okay. They're the future, right? But now your future young guys are making money. And the only way to even try to get back to where you were, when you go in the draft, you have to find Jalen Ramsey, Teron Armstead, Bradley Chubb, and Tyreek Hill. This year's draft and next year's draft, you need to find Teron Armstead, not an Austin Jackson. You need to find a Teron Armstead player, Jalen Ramsey, not a Fuller, a Jalen Ramsey, Tyreek Hill, not a Waddle, but a Tyreek Hill, and Bradley Chubb. Between this year's draft and next year's draft, you got to find those 4 guys at a cheap price. Remember that, because you need your guys that fill the roster to be making what Waddle, Holland, and all of them were making to make it work. You need rookie contracts because these guys are no longer on rookie contracts. You need young guys. You can't pay Waddle. You can't pay Waddle, Phillips, Holland, and Tua that kind of money and think you could go spend Armstead, Ramsey type of money, Tyreek money. You can't do that again. Well, you got free agency. You can't spend that kind of money because they just start taking that kind of money. So it has to be done in the draft. Young players, you have to hit. So I got to ask y'all, in the next 2 years, what are the odds of finding those 4 players as good? Because if they ain't as good as those 4 players, we'll never be as good as we are last year or this year. Let's just go at last year. We were most talented. We'll never be back there, by the way. But what are the odds of finding in the next 2 years Armstead, Tyreek, Ramsey, and Chubb? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat, what are the odds of finding those 4 guys in the next 2 years of the draft? And to be quite honest with you, even these 4 guys, we're not even talking about the fact that the new 4 guys, the guys that's about to get paid, benefited greatly from these 4 guys. Phillips, you put Chubb on the other end. Phillips benefits. I'll give Holland him, but let's kind of be honest. He ain't good against good teams, but I ain't gonna argue it. Tua, we ain't got to talk about it. We already know how he benefited from Tyreek, Armstead. When they pay our quarterback this offseason, if we fail, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially in a rebuild. You won't even see it coming. Because when they move on from Armstead, when they move on from Tyreek, when they move on from Ramsey, and they move on from Chubb, and you got Holland and the guys I just named getting the big bucks, we can only build in the draft in a few solid pieces in free agency. Yeah, they could go pay for another 1 or 2 pieces in free agency that's a big name, but collectively, you won't even notice. We won't even come close to having the roster that we had before. We're gonna go back to the days where Ndamukong Suh is the highlight. Oh, we got Suh, and that was it. We're going to rebuild. It's going to be the rebuild around Tua making $50 million, Waddle making 27, Phillips making 20 if he plays healthy, and Holland making 20. 4 players going to be $105 million. Nah, I'm wrong. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. About 117 million 4 players, 117. Now, will their annuals be 117? They're going to manipulate the cap. But like I said, those first 2 years where they always manipulate the cap and had them itty bitty cap hits, Tyreek Hill still going to be costing us $11-12 million in dead cap. Bradley Chubb still going to be costing us $11-12 million in dead cap. Teron Armstead got them voidable years on his contract after this year. He's dead cap for at least 1 year, with some small ones on the back end. His ain't that bad. And Jalen Ramsey going to be costing us a little bit of dead cap. And we're going to be forced to have that little reset to get our books in order to try to go after another window of strategy. It's going to be literally like a 2-year process of trying to go through that and build through the draft. And on the back end of that, we're going to be making decisions on, okay, we got this year and this year with Waddle and Holland and blah, blah, blah. Because after that, I don't see them taking a $40 million cap hit on Waddle because they push it to the back end. Yeah, you're right. You don't see them doing it. We're going to be right in that T. Higgins type situation, right in the Chargers situation. Remember, these teams had their weapons before the Dolphins. Y'all always talk about Burrow had his when he first came in. That's why the T. Higgins situation right now. They had theirs 2 years longer than us. But we're going to be experiencing what the Chargers went through. We're going to be are going through now. We're going to experience what the Bengals going through. We just waited a little later to armor the team up. And now you see the results of armoring the team, what it's doing to the Chargers and the Bengals because they paid their quarterback already. And now they paid their quarterback last year, and now they making decisions. And we're going to pay our quarterback this year, and next year we're going to be making decisions. And to be quite honest with you, all of this simply hinges on the fact that we're about to go from $8 million at the quarterback position to now 24. And then from 24 to then 50. A 300% increase and then 100% increase. It's that simple. Somebody say we got A-Chain. You're going to have to figure that out too. Because next year, you're going to be asking yourself, because most are getting older and older. And let's be honest, the way that works, he got money because they rewarded him because of the good year he had last year. But y'all know he getting older. At some point, it's going to be that one injury. All right. Thank you for your service. Y'all know how this thing goes. Then you're going to need another running back to go with A-Chain. Then you got to sit back and hope A-Chain can stay healthy. And let's not forget he played a half a season. Do we even have a reliable running back in A-Chain? So we don't even know that. We're going to find out. But these are all the things you got to think about when you look long-term at the salary. We're going to dive into it tonight. I'm going to pull up these salaries for all of these players' situation, and we're going to show you, and I'm going to talk to you about it. We're going to go through each and every one of them, all right? Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Come back through tonight. But I'm about to go over, because the producer's hitting me up right now. We're going over to BetUS TV right here on YouTube right now, okay? 3 p.m. the show starts, 3 to 4. And y'all come through to BetUS TV. The Huddle is the name of the show. Come through, check it out right now. Thank you to our sponsor, BetUS. Thank you for those who joined throughout the stream. And BetUS is sponsoring this video today. If you like the content, give us a thumbs up and drop me a comment. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fins up no matter what. Peace. I'm out.